If you are chasing someone, you have already lost the game. You think you are pursuing love, but you are actually pursuing validation. And validation is a bottomless pit. You can pour your entire life into it. You can empty your soul into it, and it will never be full. We don't experience the relationship. We experience the meaning we give to the space between us. There are 1,000 micro-expressions happening in a single conversation, and if your focus is on their withdrawal, you will miss every single moment of connection. You are looking for a move. You want a tactic. You want the 7 silent things you can do to make them turn around and look at you. But here's the truth. If you are looking for a tactic, you are operating from lack. You are operating from the push. The fastest way to change the dynamic isn't to change them. It is to change you. Listen, you call them avoidant. I call them human. They have a pattern of fear. When you chase an avoidant, you trigger their pattern. You become the pressure. You become the demand. And what does pressure do? It creates resistance. If you want to take the island, you got to burn your boats. You are standing on the shore, looking at the water, waiting for them to swim back to you. You need to burn the boats of your own neediness. You need to realize that your worth is not tied to their return. So, what's behind the chasing? It's your state, your mental, your emotional state. You are in a state of lack, and you are trying to use another human being to fill a void that only you can fill. There's 3 decisions you make every moment you feel the urge to chase. The first decision is what to focus on. The second decision is what things mean. The third decision is what to do about it. Most people are unconscious of these decisions. They feel the anxiety of a delayed text, and they immediately focus on the silence. They decide it means they are not enough. And they decide to take action, which usually means sending another message, or checking their social media, or spiraling into a story of rejection. But when you make these decisions unconsciously, you are handing the remote control of your life to someone else. You are letting their behavior dictate your emotional reality. Focus is the master key. Focus is the lens. Focus determines everything. When you shift your focus from what they are doing to what you are building, the entire dynamic changes. It's not about manipulation. It's about magnetism. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to forget. You see, an avoidant partner is highly attuned to pressure. They can feel your anxiety from a mile away. They can feel the weight of your unmet needs. And when they feel that weight, their nervous system says danger. So they pull away to regulate themselves. But when you master your own state, when you become fully anchored in your own life, the pressure disappears. And when the pressure disappears, the system recalibrates. They feel the space. And in that space, curiosity is born. Now let me be honest with you. I began with anger. I used anger as my fuel. I thought if I just pushed hard enough, if I just chased success hard enough, if I just forced the world to give me what I wanted, I would finally feel worthy. I was chasing validation from everyone around me, but that fuel didn't last. It burns you out. It destroys your body, it destroys your relationships, and it leaves you empty. The day my fuel changed from push to pull was the day I stopped trying to force the world to love me and started loving the world I was building. I realized that true power doesn't come from getting people to come to you. True power comes from being so fully alive, so fully engaged in your own purpose that people are naturally drawn to your fire. You want to know why they pull away? Because they feel your fear. They feel the weight of your unmet needs. They feel that if they don't respond, you will collapse. And nobody wants to be responsible for another adult's emotional survival. It is too heavy a burden. It's not about ignoring them, it's about honoring yourself. It's not about being aloof, it's about being anchored. You have to become so deeply committed to your own growth, so deeply invested in your own joy that their response is no longer the metric of your worth. Think of a Spitfire's propeller. It's a spinning, beautiful, dangerous thing you can't stop once it's going. If you're trying to lose weight, you can't run from your diet. If you're trying to connect with an avoidant, you can't run from your own neediness. You have to step out of the way of the propeller. You have to stop being the pest in their garden and start tending to your own. When you stop chasing, you are not playing a game. You are actually doing the hard work of self-regulation. You are learning how to soothe your own nervous system. You are learning how to sit with the discomfort of uncertainty without acting it out. And I want you to see this. The silent move that changes everything is not a text you don't send. It is the internal shift where you realize you are already whole. We don't attract people by wanting them. We attract people by being whole. There are millions of people in relationships right now who are desperately lonely because they are two halves trying to make a whole, instead of two wholes sharing a life. When you operate from wholeness, you don't need them to complete you. You just want them to complement you. And that is a completely different energy. That is the pull. That is the magnetic force that draws people in without you having to lift a finger. But that's not the real point. The real point is what happens inside you when you stop chasing. You are forced to meet yourself. You are forced to look at the parts of you that are terrified of being alone. You are forced to confront the belief that you are unlovable. And this is where the real work begins. If you suffered as a kid, if you felt unseen, if you felt like you had to earn every ounce of love, if you learned that the people who were supposed to hold you were the ones who let you down, you might still carry it. You might still be that kid, waiting by the door, wondering what you did wrong. You might still be scanning the room, looking for the micro-expressions of rejection. But here's what happens when you meet who you are now and look back at that kid. You realize it's been a handbook of survival in disguise. The fact that you had to earn love means as an adult you know the value of deep, committed connection. The fact that nobody supported you means you have no fear of standing on your own 2 feet. The fact that you were abandoned means you have learned how to be your own safest harbor. You don't need them to come back to validate your worth. You are the validation. The little kid inside you who was terrified of being left behind needs to know that the adult you has arrived, and you are never, ever going to leave them again. When you parent that inner child, when you give them the unconditional love they were denied, the desperate need for external validation begins to dissolve. It's like a psychological superposition you need to hold in the head at the same time. You can love them deeply, and you can still be entirely complete without them. You can want them in your life, and you can still be thrilled with your life if they choose to walk away. Holding both of those truths at once is the ultimate freedom. It's not about playing games, it's about playing full out. It's about being so engaged in your own life that you don't have time to obsess over their silence. Now listen to me carefully. When you finally decide to stop chasing, you might overcorrect, you might go cold, you might build a wall, you might decide to never be vulnerable again. That's the 4-minute bathtub. You think I'm pelting with the bath water and the baby. You're overcorrecting. You don't need to build a wall, you just need to build a foundation. A wall keeps everyone out, including the love you actually want. A foundation keeps you grounded so you can let people in from a place of strength, not a place of desperation. You want to remain open, but you want to remain boundaried. You want to be warm, but you want to be solid. Look at Steph Curry. 500 shots a day, 7 days a week, for 15 plus years, 2 million shots, 3,600 makes. 10% of 1%. He doesn't hope the ball goes in. He knows it goes in because of the work. You fool no one. You can't fake wholeness. You have to put in the reps of self-love. You have to put in the reps of self-respect. You have to practice choosing yourself over and over again until it becomes your unconscious competence. You start at unconscious incompetence, where you don't even know you're chasing. You move to conscious incompetence, where you realize you're chasing and it feels awful. You move to conscious competence, where you catch yourself and actively redirect your focus. And finally, you reach unconscious competence, where your default state is wholeness, and chasing is no longer even an option. Here is your drill. Tomorrow morning, before you look at your phone, before you check their social media, before you wonder what they are doing, you are going to take 90 seconds. You are going to stand up. You are going to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and you are going to say out loud, I am the prize, I am the fire, I am enough. You will do this every morning for 21 days. It's non-negotiable. You are going to rewire your nervous system. You are going to teach your body what it feels like to be the source of your own validation. So what does that mean to you? It means you are taking your power back. It means you are no longer handing the remote control of your emotions to someone else. When you do this, you change your state. And when you change your state, you change your story. You stop being the victim of their avoidance, and you become the hero of your own journey. You realize that life happens for you, not to you. Their avoidance is not a punishment. It is a mirror. It is showing you exactly where you still need to heal. It is showing you exactly where you are still giving your power away. And once you see it, you can fix it. If you focus on what you can't control, your energy goes there. If you control what you focus on, you control your life. Both worlds exist. The external relationship we can only influence. The internal relationship we absolutely control. You cannot control their attachment style. You cannot control their fears. You cannot control their past, but you can control your response. You can control your boundaries. You can control your commitment to your own growth. And when you control those things, you become unstoppable. Because here's what I know. The people who master their own emotional architecture are the ones who create extraordinary relationships. They don't settle for crumbs. They don't beg for attention. They create a life that is so rich, so meaningful, so deeply fulfilling, that a relationship is just a beautiful addition to it, not the foundation of it. And ironically, when you stop needing the relationship to be your foundation, it becomes much healthier, because you are no longer asking it to bear a weight it was never designed to carry. We don't heal by hiding. We heal by exposing the wound to the light. There are 1,000 memories you've buried. 1,000 times you felt small. 1,000 times you felt unseen. But when you bring them into the light, when you look at them with the eyes of the adult you have become, they lose their power over you. You realize that you survived. You realize that you are stronger than you thought. And you realize that you no longer need to run from the pain. You can sit with it. You can feel it. And you can let it pass through you. It's not about being positive. It's about being intelligent. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about knowing you can handle it if it isn't. When you develop that kind of self-trust, the fear of abandonment loses its grip on you. Because you know that even if they leave, you will be okay. You know that even if you are alone, you are not lonely. You know that you are your own best company. And that is the most attractive quality a human being can possess. I've worked with 5 million people. The ones who change aren't the smartest. They're the ones who refuse to settle. I remember a woman in my early seminars. She was weeping because her husband was emotionally distant. She was doing everything right, or so she thought. She was chasing. She was reading all the books. She was trying all the techniques. She was trying to be the perfect wife to make him stay. I looked at her and said, "You are starving yourself at a banquet. You have to eat your own food. You have to nourish your own soul. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you certainly cannot attract love when you are running on fumes." When she stopped chasing him and started chasing her own dreams, when she started investing in her own growth, when she started building her own life, something incredible happened. He started chasing her, not because she used a tactic, but because her energy shifted. She became magnetic, she became alive, and he was drawn to that life. That is the power of the pull. That is the power of living your life on your terms. You owe it to you to become the person you were meant to be. You owe it to you to stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You owe it to you to take up space, to speak your truth, to demand the love and respect you deserve. And when you do that, you will either attract someone who matches your energy, or you will outgrow the people who no longer serve your highest good. Either way, you win. We don't find purpose by looking for it. We find it by building it. There are a million needs in this world right now, and you have a unique gift that can meet those needs. When you find something you care about more than yourself, you won't need willpower. You won't need motivation. You will be driven by a deep, unshakable purpose. And when you are driven by purpose, you don't have time to obsess over whether someone texted you back. You are too busy changing the world. You are too busy living your hero's journey. And I know I'm right about this. The hero's journey is not about finding the perfect partner. It is about finding yourself. It is about slaying the dragons of your own fear, your own insecurity, your own neediness. It is about walking into the cave, facing the darkness, and bringing back the gold. The gold is your own self-worth. The gold is your own wholeness. And when you bring that gold back to the village, when you integrate it into your daily life, you become a beacon. You become a light. And people will naturally be drawn to your light. So what do I mean by that? I mean that the silent moves you are looking for are not external actions. They are internal revolutions. The first move is to shift your focus from their behavior to your own state. The second move is to change the meaning of their silence from a rejection to a reflection of their own regulation. The third move is to master your physiological state through breath and posture. The fourth move is to burn the boats of your need for their validation. The fifth move is to create a compelling vision for your own life. The sixth move is to give love without attachment to the outcome. And the seventh move is to become the hero of your own journey. When you make these 7 internal shifts, you stop chasing, you stop manipulating, you stop playing games, you just become. You become fully alive, you become fully present, you become fully yourself. And in that becoming, you create a space where real connection can happen. Not a connection based on need, but a connection based on choice. Not a connection based on fear, but a connection based on freedom. Let me say that again. Not a connection based on need, but a connection based on choice. Not a connection based on fear, but a connection based on freedom. That is the highest quality of life. That is the level you are trying to reach. And you can reach it right now. You can make the decision right now to stop chasing and start living. You can make the decision to take your power back. You can make the decision to become the hero of your own story. It's not virtue signaling, it's what you know inside your soul is true. You know you deserve better. You know you are capable of more. You know that you were not put on this earth to beg for scraps of attention. You were put on this earth to create, to love, to impact, to give back. And you cannot do that if you are stuck in the cycle of chasing someone who does not know how to hold you. Quality of life is the quality of your emotions. If your emotions are dictated by whether someone texts you back, your quality of life is in the gutter. But if your emotions are dictated by your own choices, your own actions, your own commitment to your growth, your quality of life is extraordinary. You get to decide. You get to choose. You get to create the life you want on your terms. Life happens for you, not to you. And it's your job to figure it out. Their avoidance is happening for you. It is showing you where you need to heal. It is showing you where you need to set boundaries. It is showing you where you need to love yourself more. When you see it that way, it stops being a tragedy and starts being a teacher. It stops being a wound and starts being a workshop. You are not broken. You are just learning. You are just growing. You are just evolving. And every time you choose yourself over the urge to chase, you are evolving. Every time you choose your own peace over the drama of their push and pull, you are growing. Every time you choose to stand in your own power, you are healing. So stand up, breathe deep, look in the mirror, and see the hero looking back at you. See the person who has survived every single thing life has thrown at them. See the person who is capable of creating a life of profound joy and meaning. See the person who is worthy of love simply because they exist, and then walk out that door and live like it. Live like you are the prize. Live like you are the fire. Live like you are enough. Because you are. You always have been. You just forgot for a little while, but you remember now. And you are never going to forget again. You are never going to shrink yourself again. You are never going to beg for love again. You are going to build a life so beautiful, so compelling, so deeply fulfilling, that love will have no choice but to find you. And when it does, when that real, deep, secure love finally arrives, you will be ready for it. You will not be needy. You will not be desperate. You will be whole. And you will share your wholeness with another whole person. And that is when the magic happens. That is when the hero's journey truly begins. You owe it to you to become who you really are, to step into your power, to live your life on your terms, to stop chasing and start attracting, to stop surviving and start thriving, to stop waiting for them to choose you and start choosing yourself every single day, every single moment, every single breath. Decide now, right now. Make the shift. Change your state. Change your focus. Change your life. The boats are burning. The island is waiting. And you are the captain of your own soul. Navigate accordingly.